All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host for today's broadcast, Insane Leader 13, and today we are going to get underway for our 5th out of 6 C lobby stints here. Looks like most of the field is already in. Somehow, all 19 teams that started in Stint 1 for the C lobby are still running with us. We still have all 19 drivers, which is absolutely incredible. Flux Nova is back in the BMW. LMP TVR is trying to go back-to-back on stints. They just earned a 2nd place in Stint 4, going to try and make it one spot better here in Stint 5. Scalarity, who brought that Porsche to its best result yet, will be trying to even further continue it here in this stint. Freelancer is back in the Aston Martin. They are sharing that ride with Darkser, remember, so keep an eye on them. Arzium Salty is in the Lexus. Darkin is going back-to-back in the BMW. LMP Abyss is in the Audi, and C1 Clash 54 is back as well, running the Audi as well. NWR Origin in the Acura, number 15 is back. Second, driver list. W Origin in the Acura, number 15 is back. Metal Bomb 269 making their first appearance. They are in the Acura. X3 Art Nico is in the McLaren 690. The X3 Art car has been a solid mid to upper midfield contender most of the day. Maybe Racing did not have a very competitive first stint, but we've seen from Scored Buffalo, who just won the last stint, that this car has pace. Maybe can make something out of it. Mr. Kirby in the McLaren is back. They recovered from an accident in an earlier stint to bring home a 12th place finish. ZR Benito is back in the Mercedes, trying to go back-to-back stints. LMP Nano is in the other Aston again. X Villac is making their first start. This is in the Acura that finished 3rd in both Stint 1 and Stint 3. Really interested to see how this is going to go for them. AWR for Kia is back in the Bentley that led a huge ton of laps in Stint 1 but only came home 5th. NWR No Thumbs is in the Audi machine, and Hekonoyen is in the McLaren. They're also the lobby host. Right now, we're waiting on only a few more drivers to ready up, and then we should be able to get underway here. We are running a little bit behind schedule, but because these stints are shorter than normal, hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully, we'll be able to recover. Oh. Alright, I think I've turned brightness down just a little bit. Hopefully that will help things out a little bit here. All right, just standing by, waiting to get underway here. Don't know who is not readied up yet. Just LMP TVR might be having a little bit of an issue. Might have to deal with last stint distance results. I hope not. I don't want to be the one who's caused any issues or hiccups earlier. All right, just standing by, waiting to get underway here. Real quick, a rundown for anyone who was not here for earlier. The first stint was relatively straightforward. The yellow HYR BMW driven by Skyline pretty much dominated, led all but one lap in stint 1. There was some pretty punchy fighting going on from about 4th on back, and 2nd, 3rd had a bit of a fight going on in the middle part of that stint as well, but in the end it was pretty simple, cut and dry. Stint 2, a lot of excitement concentrated at the front of the field in the first third. 4 different cars led. HYR Bookie led the first lap, then had an incident, dropped all the way out of the top 10. Zula 808 and the Audi then led several laps, but after losing the lead about a lap later, they went off and damaged their engine. They did recover a 5th. FTC Sakura then took over the race lead, led until about 2, maybe 3 laps before making their inevitable stop. Then they got disconnected. That gave the lead over to SFM Darkser, and Darkser led that second stint pretty cleanly to the end. Stint 3, the yellow HYR BMW, driven by Skyline, once again dominated but disconnected with about 20 minutes left. That gave the victory of that stint to LMP Bilbo in another BMW. Buffalo finally got into his IFEA BMW. That car didn't even make top 10 stint 1, didn't even finish stint 2. But Buffalo dragged the thing as high as 2nd place before a shifting issue damaged the engine, and he slowly slipped back to 4th position. Made for an interesting fight. And then stint 4, at one point as much as 6, but for the most part it was a 4-way fight. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, all on top of each other for many laps, and even before that, 2nd through 6th were all on top of each other for several laps. Over 2/3 of the race, I would say, was made of very, very intense racing at the front. In the end, it was Scored Buffalo who takes home the win by virtue of just overcutting both stint 1, stint 2 by turning a bunch of laps in completely clean air. He opened up a big gap on the rest of the field, also had better tires at the end of the race, and that is what gave him that win. They are not running this stint, but they will run the final stint. Maybe Racing is back in that car. I do believe that the person at the top of this lobby is going to end up being the BMW that was driven by LMP Bilbo, so it will be the LMP BMW will be starting out front, I believe, in this stint, unless, I could be wrong, unless the data is being kept up to date really aggressively and they're going to be going off of the results of stint 4 rather than stint 5. Freelancer still has yet to ready up. We're still waiting on him at this stage of the event. He is the only one I believe we're waiting on. Stand by, we are getting a lot later than I thought we would be. Still waiting to go. Don't know what the holdup is. I do apologize for this significant delay. All right, we are all readied up, so we should be getting underway here. Hopefully sooner rather than later. I do want to have a little bit of time to salvage my voice between this and the final stint here. Okay, apparently they're waiting on Stint 4 results, so they're still having trouble getting the grid order. So I was wrong. Apparently they are ordering the grid for this stint based on the end of Stint 4, not on the end of Stint 3. So that explains the delay. I apologize for that. Okay, some drivers have unreadied. Still waiting, apparently, on the final results for Stint 4 so they can properly order the grid. This will probably hurt the Astons, obviously, but I'm thinking the BMW that would have came home in 6th should be at the front of the field. I don't think anyone at the top 4 or 5 really had a good enough run to put them ahead of that Beamer. So, especially because just everyone, we had a great race, but none of them opened up mad distances. So I think while they'll all close in a bit, I don't think it will be enough. I think we'll still see a BMW from LMP at the head of the field. I think. Let me check. Not the Vantage. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm not thinking of the LMP Beamer. I'm thinking of something else. Not Flux. Maybe I'm thinking of Audi. Yeah, I think I'm thinking of the Audi, the Abyss Audi. Yeah, I might be. It's been a long day, and it's not over yet, although we are past the halfway point. So Darkin's not ready yet, but I think everyone else is, as they're still getting the results and the order finalized here. Alright, here we are, finally! Hopefully there's no hiccups, because we are We're like 3 minutes ahead of schedule right now, and that's only because we're cutting down time. If you factor in time for interviews, it's going to be even worse. So please don't let us have to restart, for the love of everything. All right, timer is going for 90 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and get the... Oh, no, I want the map. Off. And yes, I am right. Darkin in that BMW will still be on pole. Coming home with a 6th place finish should be just enough to keep him there. So somehow... that Aston Martin, a freelancer, despite not even finishing the prior stint, is still going to be second. Salty, RZM Salty, that Lexus is going to be third. AWR, oh wait, I should actually go ahead and do it like this. Let me adjust the camera real quick. Here we are. So your pole setter for stint 5 will be the 825 LMP Esports driven by Darkin, the good old BMW. Then it will be Freelancer. They are sharing this car with Darkser. They are second, the number 24. Aston Martin, third. RZM Salty in the Lexus. The Lexus is coming off of finishes of 4th, 3rd, and 4th. So they are silently and slowly recovering. 4th place starter is going to be AWR for Kia in the number 98. Bentley. 5th place is going to be the LMP Aston Martin, the 826, driven by LMP Nano. 6th will be NWR No Thumbs in the 156 Audi. 7th will be LMP TVR. Keep an eye on him. He could have a great run here. After that, you get to 8th place. 8th will be X Vlack in his first stint of the day. And the number 22, Denzo Acura. This is the car that has taken 2 podiums, but not been so good in stints 2 or 3. Behind them will be X3 Art Nico, that number 690 McLaren, which has been in the upper midfield most of the day. Behind them in 10th will be ZR Benito in the 318 Mercedes, followed by LMP Abyss in the number 827 Audi. After that will be Maybe Racing in the number 31 IFEA machine, going to try and maybe squeak out a top 10 finish here. Behind Maybe will be 13th of Metal Bomb 269, the 346 Shell sponsored Audi. Behind them will be NWR Origin. They will be in the number 157 Acura. 15th will go to Flux Nova, the number 32. This car is the only one that has led at least 1 lap in every stint thus far. Keep an eye on them to try and continue that. 16th will be C1 Clash in 54. I believe this is their 4th different stint today in the number 697 Audi. 17th will be Mr. Kirby. It has not been a great day for this entry, but they're still keeping on. 18th will be Scalarity in the Porsche. The paint scheme is not loaded, but I know that they've got that pink, white, and blue paint scheme. And then rounding out the back of the field, Hyconian in the FTC machine. So now we just wait for the field to get underway here. Second to last stint. We have had 4 very interesting stints thus far. All 4 of them have had a very, very different flavor. I absolutely love the flavor of that fourth stint. Stint C4 has probably been my favorite thus far. I would hope that we can replicate that here today, because that was hype. Anyways, after this, there will still be a stint 6, assuming my voice doesn't give out in the middle of this stint. I will try to cover a stint 6 as well, and then I'm not saying a single thing to another living soul for probably another 3 or 4 days after that. All right. Now we're finally getting underway here. As we see our field, 19 cars, the same 19 we have had all race long. all of them still running. Great for me, because that makes it a lot easier to keep track of everything. Darken, 59.46. As your pole sitter, the field will get green as they dive into turn 4. Lear has gotten a great launch in the last several starts. Will we see that again? And we're off. And yes, BMW of Darken gets a great run going into turn 4. We are underway once again. Third place, RZM Sati really slides out there, trying to maximize speed. On second place, Freelancer. Lancer was not able to finish the last stint, trying desperately to recover. Darken holding station in first right now, slowly trying to open the gap. WR No Thumbs has slipped already behind in TVR for Kia in the Bentley. This car led over half the laps in the prior stint, but wasn't even able to bring home a top 3 finish. For Kia, really trying to recover here. Top 3 are starting to sprint away just a little bit. Everyone's kind of getting the cobwebs shaken out, getting back into the fray here. Nano right behind for Kia, putting pressure on the Bentley. TVR a little sideways back there in 6, trying to get back into the fray, get back into the rhythm of things. They come out of the final corner, and now down the front stretch once again. Darken has opened up about 100-foot lead on second place. The entire field still nice and tacked together, but the top 6 have a very small breakaway of their own. The leader is trying to run away from second right now as Freelance is struggling with Salty behind. Ooh, TVR and Nano really getting aggressive back there for the 5th spot. Oh! Is that the Lexus that went off? I think that is! Yes, Salty! The Lexus has slid off, and it's so early in the race they're going to slide out of the top 9, maybe out of the top 10 positions. And now, with Nano and TVR fighting, and for Kia fighting, this is a fight for 3rd overall. Darken and Lancer now starting to open up the gap just a little bit. Nano holding on to 3rd for now. Frank for Kia has lost the position of the Aston, and now you see the Cadillac trying to make the move. Here comes NWR No Thumbs and X Black farther back trying to make something happen. Oh, contact! TVR slammed in the rear for Kia, but for Kia is actually better off for it, I think. For Kia is now right behind Nano on the run downhill. The top 2 have opened up a gap in the field. The fight is 3rd on back. Oh, that Aston got sideways. Boy, that Aston got sideways. He twitches under braking, and then he's through. Well, not all the way through, but yes, he is now. As for Kia, drops into the dirt. He's got hammered positions. TVR is already up in the 4th position, trying to pick up where he left off in the last stint. Nano is in 3rd right. What in the devil was that move? That was X3 Art Nico with a gigantic run on for Kia. Got by him somehow. TVR now sets the sights on Nano ahead. That is X Black behind. That car has finished podium in 2 of the 4 prior stints. TVR has only finished, well, this Cadillac has only finished on the podium once thus far, but they are showing some significant speed. TVR trying to line up something on LMP Nano, wants to get it going fast for Kia, drops into the dirt. He's going to start hemorrhaging positions. I think that will let Nico get by. Yes, Nico's going to get by for Kia now, and so does MWR No Thumbs. Salty will also get by for Kia. Second, 3rd, 4th all on top of each other. Freelance has not been able to pull away from the field like he wanted to, and now LMP Nano and LMP TVR all tucked up right behind him. So is X Black. TVR, is he going to go aggressive to try and get by Nano early, or is he just going to try and hope that Nano can get by? Oh my goodness, TVR trying to make a move on the outside. Is there room? Yes, he's going to make it stick. A nice stop there. So TVR up into 3rd. Oh, he hits the grass, drifts the corner. That's going to let Nano close in just a little bit. TVR has it. Bit of a twist there by Nano as Valax now begins to put pressure on him. big twitch again. Freelance trying to keep TVR behind, and Darkin is in first. And mind you, Darkin was up in front at the very first lap of the last stint, but lost it and quickly became irrelevant. TVR was the highest finisher of everyone who was running in the prior stint. TVR should still be fresh, ready to go. If TVR can clear Lancer early on here, he might be able to run up there and fight Darkin for a lead. He's already by Lancer. Lancer's going to try the crossover out of 1. They'll be side by side on the run out to 2, but Lancer is going to back out of it, try to give himself a better run 3. They're both a little bit sideways, and it looks like the Cadillac has the position. All right, but now they're going to go through some twisties, and Lancer, in theory, will be faster than TVR through these following few corners, in theory. Looks like the top 6 have all kind of gapped the rest of the field. X3 Art Nico is really putting on the best performance we've seen from one of the X3 Art cars all day today. And Salty in the Lexus, not really having the greatest start. It may be time for him to recover. That Lexus, reminder, has finished 4th, 3rd, 4th in the last 3 stints. Trying to be consistent. As we have had 4 different stint winners thus far. And our stint winner, and I think all of our stint winners have also had a DNF in one of the other stints. Nano fighting back there with Black. My focus is on TVR as he is trying to run down the leader right now. But look at this. Nico is starting to lose touch with Vlak, but Nano and Vlak having a real tight fight there behind Freelance. Freelance just cannot keep up with the guys ahead, it seems. That Aston Martin, he is not comfortable or confident in that, not nearly as much as Darkster was earlier, when Darkster won Stint 2. Already, you can see Aston on Aston battle. Neither of these drivers seem super confident with the Aston. X-Vlak is all sorts of sideways behind. One of the Astons go off. Which one is that? That was the LMP one. So now, Vlak moves ahead of Nano. Oh, wow, he just hip-checked him, threw him off the circuit, didn't even try. That was a very aggressive, but he's through. Vlak now at the 3rd. This is where the cars finished last stint and stint 1. Not the same driver, but Vlak is trying to pick up where that car left off. And the other driver who's trying to do the same thing, LMP TVR. He is 2nd, but this time he's not trying to run down Scored Buffalo in a BMW. He was trying to run down a different BMW, Darkin. Darkin did not have the greatest finish in the last stint, was not nearly as fast as TVR. TVR is legitimately running him down. The Cadillac, while it showed a lot of promise in the first 3 stints, didn't really have the finishes to back it up. Never finished in the top 5, but came home 2nd. They got snookered on strategy and was not able to properly fight for the win in the closing laps. Now he's trying to turn that around. He can see Darkin ahead. And the fight for 3rd is just as intense, honestly, if not slightly more. 3rd, 4th, 5th, all on top of each other. Vlak has the position. Nano running behind in the draft, as is Freelance, and X3 Art Nico has somehow caught the back end of this fight as well. This is the best performance we've seen from one of the X3 Art cars thus far today. Running in the lead pack in the early going. Lancer drops tires into the dirt. That leaves Nano a chance to maybe run him down. Aston versus Aston. These are the only 2 Astons who have been running in C Lobby today. They both have started near the front in the last few events, but both of them have been gradually emerging positions as the event goes on. 4th and 5th would probably be acceptable for them, but X3 Art is keeping them honest at the moment. As X-Vlak is scooting away. At the front, TVR, he's right there, right behind the BMW at the head of the field. Top 2 have really gapped 3rd and back. He's two are in a zip code of their own, and honestly, between them, TVR is absolutely the faster car. We've had 4 different winners and 4 different teams in the first 4 stints. If either Darkin or TVR could win, that would make it 5. Well, if TVR wins, because it looks more likely TVR is going to win, it would make it 5. Freelancer has gotten back by X-Vlak. It is a drag race, but Freelance has a straight line for the moment. Comes the Acura to the inside, neck and neck, and they're heavy braking. LMP TVR has made the overtake at the end of the straight as well. And Freelance falls from 3rd to 5th. They're still side by side, neck and neck for 3rd. Acura Hunt on the extreme outside as Nano is the one who has cycled out into 3rd. But now as they come out of the corner, here comes Vlak on the outside. Nano inside, they're 2x2. Brinkley, X3R is going to back out of it. X-Vlak is on the extreme outside, drifts the run into the corner. That will give Nano the position. Freelance to the inside now. There are 3 wide for position. Someone's got to back out. No, it's Lancer who goes off. Has got to fall all the way down to 9th position. What a run. Darkin runs right behind TVR. TVR got him on the front straightaway, but Darkin has not let TVR get away that easily. They're still just about nose to tail, but Darkin needs to make a move quickly so that way TVR doesn't open the gap on the front straightaway. Bit of a slide from Darkin, but it doesn't look like he's able to directly fight here. Also, credit Salty is in 6th, and that fight from 3rd to 5th is all falling back into the clutches of the rest of the field. Darkin does not seem to be able to do anything at TVR, so my focus is going to go to this fight from 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Nano has it over Vlak and Nico. X3 Art Nico in 5th position, the highest that one of the X3 Art drivers have run all day on merit. Nano is in an Aston Martin, an Aston that this team, every driver in this team has shown weakness in. Vlak runs right behind in an Acura that has podium twice. Is batting .5 on podiums thus far. The top 2 are absolutely gone. And honestly, even though Darkin has lost the lead, I wonder if Darkin's already opened up enough of a gap that none of these drivers farther back will really be able to close in. Darkin might still be able to pull a good podium out of this. Maybe Racing currently is in 9th, so maybe is recovering from compared to what their very first stint was. The field runs uphill. X-Vlak looking on the outside, won't commit to it, going to try crossover. No room, wasn't there in position anyway. Aston, Acura, McLaren, 3rd, 4th, 5th. And then there's a BMW and a Cadillac in 2nd and 1st. There's also a Lexus in 6th, so 6 different manufacturers in the top 6 position. We've heard that story before in the last stint. Ooh, Nano really sideways, but he has enough room to keep it on track without too much issue. Now the final corner. You can see that Darkin continues to run in TVR's draft, but doesn't seem to be in a position to make moves on him. Nano keeping Vlak behind. Vlak looks to the inside, will not make a move. Nano did go a little bit defensively. Vlak, though, has to run defense against Nico. Mind you, Salty is starting to close in. And not only is Salty closing in, they would bring NWR Origin and AWR for Kia with them. Nano's trying to open up the gap between himself and X-Vlak. A lot more segmentation in this field. Darkin, full credit, is keeping touch with LMP TVR for the moment. Doesn't seem to be in a position to make moves. on that Cadillac. Run downhill once again. Nano and Black both had a horrible run. Both high center down the curve. Nano a little worse than Black, it looked like. And Nico drops tires into the dirt out of that second to last corner, that high-speed kink. And Salty is closing in, slowly but surely. Out of turn 1 through turn 2, now into turn 3. Black slides the rear tires, just trying to get a run out of turn 3. He had a run, but not enough to get alongside. Runs in the draft of the Aston. Does he make a dive into 4? No. But Nano is a little wide, trying to maximize the track. Again, the Acura, I keep thinking the Acura is going to make a big dive on the inside into 5, but we have not seen that happen yet. None of the Acura drivers have tried that move. I keep thinking we're going to see it, but it has not happened. Here comes Vlak now. Got around the outside. Neck and neck going into the braking zone. Vlak will actually brake a little earlier, hit Nano from behind. Nano holds the station. Nano defends the inside, but Vlak didn't even try it, so Nano actually bled off time trying to do that. Vlak has a huge run, goes to the outside of the Aston. Side by side. It's a longer way around, and Vlak can't complete the overtake, but he is nose to tail with the Aston going through this high-speed kink. It is Vlak and Nico who drop tires into the dirt. Vlak high-centered it on the curb, but also had a little straighter run out of the corner. Vlak closes, but he only starts really closing at the back half of the front straightaway. So it seems like he's just not quite close enough to make the move unless Nano is making a mistake. Uphill once again. Nico sliding a little wide. Nico running really, really strong right now, but does not seem to have the ability to really challenge forward and keep pace. As long as the drivers ahead are fine, but does not seem to have legit pace on his own to do anything. Boy, Nano a little bit slideways out of 4 going into 5. Might have extended the track a little too much. But Vlak is not close enough to make the move. At least not yet. Uphill. Vlak a little sideways off that outside curb. He's got to run. He looks through the outside again. Door shuts on him. He's got to run out of the corner, though. Will he make a move to the inside? No, it looks like he'll stay nose to tail in line for now. But could he dive into this heavy braking zone? He looks to the outside again. Nano slides in front of Vlak. And as these three continue to fight, they are gapping the distance from 6, but also losing ground to first and second. And Vlak has gotten hit from behind. Slides it in the final corner. Nico goes through now. I guarantee you Vlak is not going to be happy about that. Nico is now the one with the run on Nano here. Does he try to make a move into 1? He brakes, fakes, but will not commit. They stay nose to tail. 3rd and 4th. Vlak is still right there. Should be in position to start fighting. Nano is sideways and Nico to the inside. Side by side for 3rd. Nano gets a little sideways again, but has the initial acceleration. Now can stay ahead of the McLaren by the time they get here into turn 4. And with that, Vlak has caught them again. PVR slowly pulling away from Darkin in 2nd. but does not. I don't see anyone here in the field that has the pace of the top three. I think of the top two. I think TVR and Darkin have pretty much solidified their positions. The fight is just going to be between these three, more likely for third position. No one else is showing the pace necessary to try and run down this trio at the moment. Closing in, dives, touches the Aston from behind, and lunges. He's through. Might have been a little dirty, but he is through. I would have made the same move, honestly. Nico's position, and then slides into the dirt right afterwards. So does the Aston behind. The Acura closes in on both of them, but Nico is now third. And the X3 car, which has been a midfield contender most of the day, is now all of a sudden legitimately running in the top three on pace and move and positioning and overtakes. Nano is going to make a gigantic dive into turn one and going to run Nico off the ideal racing line. Vlak is going to get by. Nano goes back to third. I mean, fair play, honestly. That was pretty similar to the move that Nico made to Nano, and now Nano does the exact same thing back. I can't be that upset or surprised if that happened. As much as I myself really want to see X3 do incredible things, turnabout is fair play. The same move we saw in the third to last corner is what we saw in the first corner. And now these three are back in the positions they were at earlier, a little bit farther back. AWR for Kia is trying to keep NWR Origin behind. This is Bentley versus Acura. Very aggressive runs by the Acura, trying to do anything he can. It seems like the Bentley is a little bit slower in a straight line on initial acceleration, but just barely has enough top end to stay ahead of the Acura. So he just plants the car right in front of the Acura. I don't know if NWR Origin is really aware of how easy the Acura can change lanes and maintain its acceleration, or maybe they have the car set where it can't do that. But either way, I would think that normally an Acura in this position would be able to change lines and immediately get by the car ahead. That's just not happening. But for Kia, is going to go into the dirt. Might not need to happen. For Kia on the outside. Origin. For Kia inside. Origin outside. And Origin's by him. And Arzian Solti, who is in not 8th, right behind, could capitalize a bit here. Will the Bentley make a move into one? Oh, he goes for it, but the door shuts. Meanwhile, farther up, Vlak has gotten by Nano again in turn one. Oh, and the Aston is all sorts of sideways. But McLaren backs out, doesn't want to be on the outside, I guess, going into turn four. Really did not have a good run through the corner that time. And it seems like I think these three have kind of settled into where their actual pace is. I do think Nano may be a little bit faster than Vlak on laps, but Nano seems to be a little bit more mistake prone than Vlak thus far. Nico is a little slower and about as mistake prone as Vlak, honestly. I don't know if NWR Origin will have the speed to try and run any of these 5 down. We are about to get to the point where we have to start thinking about pit stops here, though. And I want to give full credit where credit is due. Darkin is not letting TVR go. He's pretty much lost the draft of the Cadillac, but the Cadillac has not completely gapped the field like we thought he would have. He has opened up the gap, but it is not so much that Darkin is gone. I think these two are pretty solid locks for first and second, simply because third, fourth, and fifth spend so much time fighting with each other, and I really don't think any of these three are fast enough to do anything. Not to be a pain, but not to be a, pain to genitalia, but TVR and Darkin seem like we got two of the best drivers from Stint 4. And honestly, Stint 4, I felt a lot of the drivers were like either the fastest drivers of mid teams or mid drivers of fast teams at the front. I feel like a lot of teams may have just chucked in whatever middling driver they had in Stint 5, just kind of hoping for whatever because they want their best drivers in Stint 6. Black really sliding the tires. He is opening the gap slowly between himself and Nano. And Nico does not seem to be able to keep up quite as well as he'd like. So at this stage, Kirby and Hikonian is your lobby host, I believe. Kirby and Hikonian have both made stops. I'm guessing they may have either they've damaged their cars or they have elected to make their first stop a little earlier than everyone else. We saw in the last stint, everyone was making stops earlier, pretty much gradually going up the field, and it kind of took all of them out of contention. The undercut the undercut had a lot of strength in Stint 1, and Stint 2, the undercut was good for the first pit stop, but not good in the second, and then Stint 3 and Stint 4, it was the overcut, which was the preferred strategy of choice. Black holding station over Nano. Nano keeping Nico behind him. And sixth place is NWR Origin, who is trying to pull away from Frakia and Salty. The Lexus is Salty. That car went 4th, 3rd, 4th in the last 3 stints, but he is nowhere near the top 5 in pace today. I don't see any way that the Lexus will be able to continue their rebound. I think this is going to be a rough 5th stint for them. Not unbearable. I think they're going to finish on the lead lap, but not as good as they want. Black inside Nano, muscling his way on the outside in a corner you don't normally want to go outside in. So Black does not have the ability to just walk away with this. This is legitimately a fight. None of these 3 cars can really get away from each other. Nano diving to the inside of Black once more, but Black cuts the door down in the top of the hill. Now the run downhill once again. We're right on board with the McLaren that runs in 5th. We'll go silently on board for a full lap with Xtreme Eagle. Devil. Well, these drivers are all acting a little bit stupid, but Black says, I've had enough. He's going to pit early. He just needs to turn some laps and clean air away from these people. I got bad news for you, Black. You're going to be right in the middle of the field. What in the devil? These drivers are just kind of driving about 6 feet over their heads. The only reason they've not lost control of their cars outright is just because these cars have 8 points of contact on their tires now instead of just 1 like in the last game. Nico now moves into third position again. So this fight for third has been the most entertaining, but also a little bit silly as well. Nico staying ahead of Nano for now, but Nico misses the corner. Nano throws the car up the inside. Drag race downhill. McLaren, Aston Martin, who's got it? Who wants it more? They both keep it full throttle through there. A little bit of contact door to door. Checking. Nico has the position over Nano. But all three of these drivers have been very aggressive. TVR and Draken. Darkin, will now pit in the top two position, and Nico and Nano will pit as well. So now the question is, where and 5th and 6th are gonna pit as well, and so does 8. A lot of people are gonna pit all at the same time. So now the question is, where's X Black going to end up in relation to these people? Salty goes to the lead. CR Benito in 4th, maybe racing 5th. TVR is now caught in a little bit of traffic right now, but where is Vlak going to be in relation to the drivers he had been fighting? Well, you see them all coming out. I got bad news for you, Vlak. You are nowhere close to them. I don't know, maybe he went off circuit and I missed it, but Vlak has completely lost touch with that fight with drivers higher up. Nano is not massively up the road, but Nico and Nano, by staying out a little longer, even though they were being kind of silly, have opened up the gap. The other thing to consider, though, LMP TVR is going to have to worry about a little bit of traffic. TVR behind Maybe Racing. That is the same car that he lost the last stint win to, but maybe does not have the same pace that Score Buffalo does. TVR just needs to be careful, needs to be calm. Don't let himself be held up too much by the BMW, but he's got a gap, a small gap, but he does have a gap on Darkin. Salty in the Lexus leads at the moment. This time, the Lexus is going longer on tires than most of the others. Still out of the corner. TVR was right behind Maybe. All right, there goes Benito and Maybe pitting at the same time. So this will move TVR up into 2nd. LMP Abyss and Freelancer are also going to pit in 6th and 7th position. So everyone except for RZM Salty and Metal Bomb have made their first stop. TVR has opened up a solid gap over Darkin at this stage of the race. Nico holds position over X Vlak right now. That will give them overall 3rd. So it's X3R, who has been overall, well, they'll be 3rd once the leader pits. But X3R, this car has overall been a upper midfielder fighter, but has not scored a top 5 finish yet. Right now, Nico could be in position to maybe walk home with a top 3 result. Would be incredible for the team. And credit to Darkin, this team did not have a great Stint 4, but they are recovering. They are poised to still walk home 2nd here in Stint 2. LMP Nano making a 2nd pit stop, so there must have been damage to Nano somewhere around here. So I hate to say it, but this is likely going to take Nano out of any serious good result contention for this race. So I think most of our results are pretty much already decided. Big question, of course, is going to be, once Salty pits, where is he going to end up? Because there is this train from about 12th to 4th-ish. No, about 12th to 5th are all on top of each other. All right, Salty coming into the pits now. Maybe Racing is at the back of this big train. Where in this train is that Lexus going to come out at? First place, TVR will go by without issue. Second place, Darkin should go by without issue. Might be a little bit more interesting for Nico, but I think Nico has enough of a gap. He should be able to get by without issue. My main question is going to be, are they going to end up in relation to this big pack? Flux Nova runs right behind Navy right now. I hate to say it, but I think this BMW is not going to be able to lead laps in Stint 5, so that little streak is going to be over. And see on the inside, farther up the road there, is that Lexus of Salty that just came out of pit lane. As he merges over, it looks like Salty's going to stabilize in 7th. Might lose that to Fakia. Lexus just has not been very strong in this stint. Like I said, I think a lot of drivers, a lot of teams threw mediocre drivers at this stint because they want to ensure that their best drivers would be in the final stint here. But LMP TVR seems to be the exception. TVR second in the last stint. More than likely in position to walk off with a win in this stint as long as nothing happens. Looking at the Lexus of Salty here. That is NWR Origin trying to fight with Kirby farther up. Kirby had a big accident in their last stint, but was able to recover to 12th. Now that Kirby is in a event where there hasn't been an accident, at least to him yet, he might be on for one of his best results thus far. Nose to tail, 5th, 6th, 7th, all on top of each other. 4th place, X-Black is a little bit up the road. Nico is confidently in 3rd for the moment, but I do think Vlak is faster than Nico, so that fight for 3rd might kick back in. Before this is over, Origin just runs Kirby into the left rear quarter panel, trying to force that car offline. They all file back into single file, coming back onto the front straightaway. Down the front stretch without any significant issue. Origin not close enough to make a move, not this time at least. Freelance, who has just had an awful time of it, trying to keep C1 Collision 54 behind him for the 15th position. It's been awful for this car. Mind you, they have a 1st and 2nd result in stints 2 and stints 2 and 3, but that has not turned into results here right now. Freelancer just does not seem to be able to get to this car with the same confidence that we saw our winner of Stint 2 have. I forgot his name. I'm sorry. My mind is starting to get a little fried. I do apologize for that. Darkster, thank you. All right, here's this interesting battle as they all run nose to tail into the blind corner. Bentley trying to keep an Audi behind. The Audi goes inside and the Bentley has lost the plot. The Bentley has lost the corner. Will lose 1, maybe even 2 positions. So this puts Benito into 10th, into 9th now. Benito runs right behind the Audi as they make a move. No, he's gonna brake early, trying to get a good run out. He still nearly hits the Audi coming out of the corner. Benito versus No Thumbs on the run downhill. Looks like No Thumbs has a little bit better initial acceleration. The Audi falls in line to get a big toe. What about into the braking zone? He goes to the inside. Mercedes now moves up into the 8th position. No Thumbs will cross him over on corner exit, but the Mercedes has the advantage in turn 2. Tries to block off the Audi in turn 3 as long as he doesn't drift the car too aggressively, which he just did. He would have had the position, but he drifted the car so aggressively that not only does No Thumbs go by, but Forkia is going to go back by as well. So No Thumbs hold station. They have brought Maybe Racing and Flux Nova into this. So this is now a 5-way fight for positions 12 through 8, or 8 through 12. Big moves yet? Not yet. run downhill once again. Ooh, Benito gets tires onto the inside grass, turned in a little too soon. Gonna compromise his run, but no real moves or attempts at moves this time by. Oh, maybe slides off into the dirt, but still closes it back in under braking, basically makes all that ground back up. All right, what about this fight here that's starting to develop for 5th, 6th, and 7th? Origin is catching Kirby, and Salty is behind Origin. There's also a potential fight that could develop for 3rd and 4th between Nico and Vlak, and if PVR has anything happen, Darkin could catch him. Salty all sorts of sideways back there. 3 cars, not quite all in a row here. Seems like they're stable for now. NWR No Thumbs holds on to 8th for the moment. Out the back of the Audi, as we look at 9th, 10th, and 11th, all behind. It looks like Flux Nova has lost touch just a little bit. Ooh, Furkia gets a big run as No Thumbs misses the entry to the corner at the top of the hill. It's basically a hairpin at the top of the hill. So this has brought Furkia right into play. Does Furkia lunge to the inside? Thinks of it. Car is there, but will not make the lunge. Will he make the lunge on the outside of braking? He will. Can he make the pass stick? I think he might be able to. They're side by side. And yes, Furkia on the outside has made it stick. Incredible. Great job by Furkia to make that stick. No Thumbs closest under braking, but loses the car, misses the apex just a bit. Now Benito is right there again. Furkia has position. No Thumbs will have to draft on the Bentley. It looks like the Bentley has a little bit better initial acceleration compared to the Audi. Is pulling away. The Audi starts to slowly close the gap back down. Neither of them really had a great run in turn 1 that time. Oh, wow, the Audi of No Thumbs got on the outside curves. Got to leave the inside open to the Mercedes. Mercedes doesn't have the greatest run out of the corner, but falls right in line. Will Benito make a run into turn 4? I don't think it's close enough. No Thumbs really has to do more defense against Benito behind than actually trying to make moves. So 8 through 12. Flux kind of fades in and out of the back of this fight, but doesn't seem to really be in a position to make moves. Oh my goodness! And Furkia goes off! No Thumbs does not go side by side in the corner. In fact, he's got to cross Furkia over side by side for a position. 8th drag race down the front straightaway. Acura versus Bentley. Benito and the Mercedes will have the draft off of both of them here. No Thumbs has the inside, can probably go a little bit more conservatively in turn 1. No Thumbs will get the position back. Furkia will cross over though. Furkia crosses over, gets ahead. Turn 2 does not look good. They're briefly 3 wide. And Furkia will hold the position. No Thumbs trying to maximize the line out of 3. But Furkia has it. No Thumbs now looks to the outside. Audi versus Bentley run down into turn 4. No Thumbs puts the bumper to Furkia in 4. Looks outside, looks inside, does not make a move in 5. No Thumbs lost this position to Furkia. Furkia made a masterful move on the outside, but Furkia may have been able to make that overtake, but the car does not seem to have what it needs to just put on some fast laps and blitz away. Though Furkia has made a self-inflicted error that did drag No Thumbs right back up to them. This trio has broken away from the BMW duo of Baby and Flux just a bit. Oh, Furkia, real bad over the curb that time. Not an ideal line in the slightest. No Thumbs pretended to make a move, but would not commit to it. All three of them stay in line without too much issue. No Thumbs not really in position to make anything happen. And maybe actually ends up closing in those two corners this time. Most of the top 7 have kind of stabilized for the moment. Although honestly, 5th, 6th, and 7th are all close enough that if something happens, those positions could change. Really, this is the most intense fight right now. 8th, 9th, and 10th. Running uphill, up to the top. No Thumbs runs right behind Furkia. Big sideways moment. This is fantastic stuff we're seeing. Nito sliding just a little bit, but is able to keep in touch. So Flux has fallen back to 13th. Scolarity in the Porsche has actually sneaked by. Whatever happened to Scolarity, I'm guessing they ran off circuit and we missed it. So this is now only a 4-way fight for the 8th position. At the front, TVR continues to walk away. Darken. Oh, No Thumbs missed the corner and Benito is through and maybe racing to the inside as well. Lost one position in the hairpin at the top of the hill. Might lose another here in these two corners. No Thumbs inside, Baby outside. Heavy under brakes. No Thumbs gets the tires a little bit bad over the curves, but maybe he's gonna back out. Doesn't want to go side by side in these corners. Still ends up sliding wide in the process though. But now Benito moves up into the 9th position just behind Furkia. Eighth, 9th, 10th, 11th, all on top of each other still. Furkia, great in battling against drivers, but he does not, either it's him or the car, I don't know which, but does not seem to be able to set big lap times that will let them pull away from these cars behind and get back to the front without too much issue. Oh, Benito kind of blitzed turn 4, not in a good way, just let Furkia open up the gap just a little bit. Benito tries to take an alternate exit line to close back in. It looks like it worked. Mercedes is still right there. Those 4 all on top of each other is very similar to how we saw the top 4 on top of each other in the prior stint. We're running uphill once again. The Mercedes is into the dirt. Doesn't lose too much time. And then WR No Thumbs looks to the outside and ends up opening the inside to Maybe. Maybe hits him and pushes him a little sideways. So Benito's biggest friend there was Maybe, who pushed that Audi behind him sideways. Different manufacturers in this fight. At the head of it is a Bentley, followed by a Mercedes, followed by an Audi, followed by a BMW. Not quite halfway. Actually, no, I think we're a little bit more than halfway. Oh, Benito's in the dirt! We'll keep the car straight, though. He is starting to pull away a little bit as Benito is really struggling under the pressure from No Thumbs. I think Furkia is in a position he can kind of open up the gap a little bit. Benito stabilizing, or trying to stabilize, but No Thumbs will not let him get away. Mind you, most of the field all pitted on either the same lap Benito, the same lap and Benito. This is the second lap in a row. He's dropped tires on the outside. This time, though, No Thumbs is a lot closer. Lund is to the outside. Maybe is not close enough to hit No Thumbs from behind. And the Audi has a run. Audi's going to cross over on corner exit. Falls back in line behind the Mercedes. Is he going to make a run? He's going to make a dive to the inside. Yes, he does. Side by side for the 10th position, for the 9th position. Maybe is going to try and take advantage, but bottles the corner. Benito holds station. Oh, Benito very nearly lost control. Kia cannot get away from this fight. They're not directly targeting him, but he has not been able to turn the laps. He needs to get away from these people. It's more like, I don't know if it's the car, I don't know if it's the tune, I don't know if it's the driver, maybe it's a combination of the two. The driver doesn't like the car, the driver doesn't like the tune, who knows? But Kia can't get away, even though these three will not stop fighting. If No Thumbs gets by Benito, I think he's going to immediately suck right onto the back of that Bentley for Kia. Oh my goodness! Well, that's it for Benito. Will drop all the way to 12th behind the Porsche Scolarity. Not a single thing you can do when you go that wide. But you can see those last few laps, those tires were really giving up. That's not what I wanted to see. 30% tire wear, but he's driving more like it's 50 or something. So No Thumbs now has clean air between himself and for Kia. Can he run the Bentley down? He does have the BMW of Baby racing behind. Baby trying to fight for a top 10 result. Audi, BMW, there's a Porsche in 11th, but not really close enough to immediately make anything of this. And for Kia, dropped tires into the dirt there. I think No Thumbs is starting to close in. That 7th place RZM Salty. Lexus seems to be stalled out in 7th, can't really fight forward, can't really fall backwards either. AB. I feel like while No Thumbs is closing on for Kia, maybe is losing touch with this duo. It might come down to just being a two-man fight here. Again, all 5 of these cars, 8th through 12th, are all still on the same straightaway, but it's only for very brief moments now if you're not talking the front stretch. The gap is just slowly opening up between them all. And I think No Thumbs and Fakir is the only gap that is closing, but even that is a slow close. Real quickly, I want to look at their tire life. 36% for No Thumbs. What about for Kia, who's just ahead of them? 38%, so their tire life isn't that much different, honestly. ZR Benito is closing back in on Scolarity, though. You can see everyone at the front 7 positions all have significant gaps between them, although Salty every now and again closes in on Origin, but doesn't seem to be really close enough to make moves. He's close enough to maybe capitalize if Origin makes a mistake. And then here's this 5 car trying to fight. Nova has kind of lost the plot, falling off the back of them. Abyss is in 14th, and Kalishny 54 is 15th. Hekunian is making their second stop with about 31 minutes left in the race, and there is Freelancer, has just not been having a good time at all. So your leader has just gone by. This here second place, Darkin, started up front, led a few laps early, but could not keep TVR behind. There goes X3 Nico. It's been a midfield car, but they might be able to squeeze a podium out. Black goes by. Kirby goes by. Kirby is actually going to pit this lap, so drivers are now in the position where they're making their final pit stop of this stint. Maybe racing just ahead of Scolarity and Benito for now. Kia, no thumbs. They'll move up into 7th and 8th off the back of Kirby making their stop. Again, hats off to Kirby. The stint that he ran earlier, he had an accident, damaged the car, had to limp around for an entire lap with the damage we were in, but did recover to a, I believe it was 11th, 10th, something like that place finish. Now in this stint where he's not damaged at all, he is legitimately holding on to a top 5 finish. Oh, maybe goes off just in front of Clarity and Benito. As I was saying about Kirby, Kirby could be in a really, really good position here to come home 5th. The full question, of course, he's pitting early. He'll have some cleanish air for now, but Kirby needs to make sure his tires don't completely fall off the deep end at the end of this race. About 30 minutes left in the stint. For Kia and No Thumbs are right on top of each other. Baby has fallen off, so this is the absolute duel between this duo. For Kia, faster, well, not really faster, but for Kia seems to be better on driver versus driver with that amazing outside line overtake in one of the slower corners. But No Thumbs seems to be able to put together laps a lot quicker, and laps that are a lot quicker than for Kia. The road, that is Salty. Salty is losing touch with the drivers ahead right now. Don't know if there's damage to the Lexus or what, but he is losing touch with the drivers ahead. Oh, for Kia, drops tires in the dirt! The Audi is not going to make the move. Maybe and Scolarity are now going to make their pit stops. Drag race down the front straightaway. No Thumbs inside. For Kia, outside. Audi versus Bentley. The Audi should be able to go a little bit conservative into turn 1. No, he's going to dive into turn 1. Is for Kia that is conservative. Tries the crossover on corner exit. Does not seem to have what it takes in the car to make it stick. And the Audi goes up to 7. Now for Kia, lunges in turn 3. He slide jobs in front of the Audi. They're side by side again now, coming down the back straightaway. But for Kia will have the inside line. Normally, this is the line of choice as the Audi hold it on the outside. No, he'll fall in line behind. Will cross over on the outside of 5. Falls back in line behind for Kia. Ooh, that Mercedes of Benito is slowly closing in on this fight, I think. Uphill. Kia runs in front of No Thumbs still. This is the most active fight on track of drivers who are on the same pit stop strategy. And Flux Nova has gone off, I believe. I don't know if there's any damage to the car. No damage, but he has gone off. Okay, maybe Race and Scolarity are still actually fighting. So there's that. X Black will pit out of the 4th position now. NWR No Thumbs is the one who drives deep into the dirt this time, but will still close in under the braking zone. For Kia, holding on to 7th. No Thumbs, faster on his own, but just seems to get caught behind this Bentley. And while he's able to get alongside in some of these corners, can't seem to make an overtake stick. C1 Clash in 54 is going to go ahead and make their final stop as well. He's going to drop them well down the order, and surprisingly, no one in the top 8 has made their final stop yet. X Volak is going to end up just ahead of LMP Abyss and Flux Nova, but the air ahead is pretty clear, so I think Vlak should be okay. Although I will say, if Nico pits this lap, he runs the risk of being up behind this duo of for Kia and No Thumbs, and that could negate a top 3 finish for him. But we'll see. I don't know. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. to tail, downhill once again. Benito is closing, but again, these three will have to make their stops soon, their final stops sooner rather than later. Got about 25 minutes left on the clock. I think everyone has kind of learned since about the, well, NWR Origin is making his final stop now, but I think everyone has learned that overcutting is just generally better than undercutting, it seems. Might not have been the case in Stint 1, and it was only half the case in Stint 2, but in 3 and 4, the overcut has been better than the undercut, and it looks like it might be the same way here in Stint 5. So Origin is going to end up likely behind this fight, likely behind Kirby as well. Yeah, NWR Origin is going to end up in 12th. I think they're far enough ahead of Maybe they don't have to worry about losing the position Maybe. It's still, we'll see. They have hit a little earlier than some of the drivers that were around them. Top 7 still have yet to make their final stop. No Thumbs still runs right behind Turkia. Gets to the inside, which will turn him into the outside. In turn 5, tries to cross over on exit. Not able to put the car there. Looks to the inside, not able to lunge. No Thumbs is faster, but Turkia seems to be better in this driver versus driver battle. Run uphill now. All the while, Benito is closing in. LMP your race leader, is making his final stop this lap. Oh, No Thumbs hits Turkia behind, and they both miss the corner at the top of the hill. Second place will pit. Third place will pit as well. So our top 3 drivers will all pit this circuit. I don't think TVR will have to worry about losing a spot. Draken and Nico likely will end up behind Salty. Nico, I think, might end up behind this fight for 5th and 6th. No Thumbs is going to pit, but Turkia is going to stay out. Salty stays out as well. Where's Nico end up? Oh boy, Nico feels so slow for him getting out of the pits. He is going to end up behind Turkia, behind Benito as well. This could be bad. This could compromise a top 3 run because Vlak, while he's not close to him, Vlak is in a position where if Nico spends too much time fighting with lap traffic, he will close right back in. Nico needs these cars ahead for Kia and Benito to pit as soon as possible. Salty in 3rd has yet to make his final stop. I will say one advantage Nico has is that Vlak is on older tires now than Nico, so Nico should have better rubber to the end of this race. Metal Bomb has had an incident. I think Metal Bomb may have hit the wall, but they have made it back into the pits. Although it's looking like they will likely be a lap down here. Benito right behind for Kia. This duo still has to pit. Nico has almost caught them, which would not be good news for him. Salty also has yet to pit. All right, of these two, who pits? And then when they pit, where will they end up in relation to NWR No Thumbs? Mind you, No Thumbs has actually ended up behind Maybe Racing. Maybe by pitting early has actually set a bunch of good laps and cleared them. All right, Salty is coming in this lap. Furkia is coming in this lap, but Benito will stay out another lap. That's not good news for Nico, but let's see where this turns everything out, though, for No Thumbs and Maybe. Where are they going to end up in relation to Furkia? A driver that they have been fighting for a long time. Salty is pitted as well. No Thumbs just a little bit behind Maybe, and Maybe was right behind Freelancer, but Lancer is going to be pitting, so that's not going to hold him up any longer. Maybe out of the final corner now, down the front straightaway. There's Salty, there's Furkia. That's the driver we're caring about. Maybe has the run. He's accelerating down the front straightaway. He will get by Furkia. What about No Thumbs? Will No Thumbs clear Furkia as well? Scalarity is right there with No Thumbs. And, oh my god, they are dead even! And then Furkia barely holds it over No Thumbs. No Thumbs has got to be absolutely fuming. What does he have to do to get by this guy? And the Audi of No Thumbs completely botched the corner, and now Scalarity scoots by. But Maybe has actually, by pitting early, has actually gotten by Furkia. The big thing, though, is that Furkia will now have fresher tires and maybe to the end of this run. So ZR Benito, who's in 4th, has already lost the position to Nico. So Benito didn't really hold Nico up too much. I don't think Black is going to be held up at all. Surely Benito will be paying this lap. He will be the last driver to make a stop in this stint, assuming no one has to stop for damage or anything. About 20 minutes left. I will say, who's all a lap down? So Metal Bomb is a lap down, and they are the only driver that is a lap down right now. Darkid is nowhere close to TZR at the moment, and yes, Benito is making his final stop now. So we'll see Benito drop down. Where will Benito end up in the fight with Furkia? Maybe No Thumbs and Scalarity. Oh, Furkia deep into the dirt. Bring Scalarity in. Also, let's maybe open the gap up just a little bit. Origin gets by, but we knew that was going to happen. Benito coming out of pit lane. Salty is by. Maybe is already by before Benito is off the pit lane limiter. And it looks like the overcut did not work out in Benito's favor. Benito is going to end up all the way down in 12th. He'll have fresher tires in the cars ahead, though. So this might still work out for him. He has to dig deep, but he's got 19 minutes. He might still be able to pull out a top 10, maybe even a top 8 finish, depending on how this works out. Here's something interesting, though. Maybe Racing is closing in on Salty. Does Salty have damage or something? No, I know that Salty pitted earlier, and maybe dealing with more tire life is causing them problems, but maybe who earlier was just struggling to be in the top 10 could steal a 7th based on how this is going. And Salty, again, I said this several times, Lex has had 3 solid results. 4th, 3rd, 4th in stints 2, 3, and 4. Not really replicating it in this stint, though. Furkia now has Scalarity behind him. Scalarity is not someone that Furkia has had to defend against. But behind Scalarity is someone that has been fighting a lot with him. It's No Thumbs. I guess a little bit behind them is Benito, who has fresher tires in all of these cars. Maybe it's just about Hot Salty. Oh, Furkia is all sorts of sideways, and Scalarity drops tires into the dirt. And that lets No Thumbs close in a little bit. Looks like Salty's opened the gap up a little bit on maybe in the final 2 corners this time. Furkia has Scalarity in the Porsche right behind. Scalarity should be in the car that's blue, white, and pink, but due to a graphical error, I believe on my part, we can't properly see it. It just looks black. I do apologize for that. No Thumbs runs right behind Scalarity. So east side to side, uphill, top of the hill now. Someone go off farther back there. I think Benito may have slid off circuit farther back. So Furkia has Scalarity right behind. Scalarity and that Porsche in general did not look very strong. There's the move. I thought it would be an Acura, but Scalarity is the one that makes a big dive in the 5, but he hits Furkia. They both get sideways, and all it's really done is just open Scalarity up to an attack from No Thumbs. Scalarity is able to defend against No Thumbs, but this has let Furkia get away a little bit, and now No Thumbs has a run on the outside and the Audi. The inside is defended by the Porsche of Scalarity. The Audi is going to complete the overtake in the braking zone. Fantastic job by No Thumbs. Scalarity damaged his brakes or something? No, there's no damage to the car, but he was just slow, maybe a little too cautious going into that corner, but this is given No Thumbs the position, and now once again, No Thumbs is backed up behind Furkia. So Metal Bomb's about to go a lap down to Draken. Maybe Racing and Salty, though, are in a drag race. Salty inside, maybe outside, but Lexus seems to have a slight straight line speed advantage, but maybe has been faster in the corners. Diving into turn 1. Maybe he's going to back out of it, going to try and cross over. Can't complete the crossover. Still is faster in turn 2. Do they try to dive in 3? Does the car have the handling to dive in 3? No. They say no, so tail out of turn 3. Salty holds station over maybe. Lexus will scoot away on the short straight run into turn 4. Salty is all sorts of sideways, throwing the car into 4 though. This lets Maybe with a little bit more conservative line close in just a bit. Again, Maybe will have better tires than Salty. Salty was the first of this big group to pit for the final time, so his tires will be burning up faster than Maybe's. Do this technical section of the valley, and now they rush uphill. Lexus does seem to have a good straight line speed advantage. Sideways, but it looks like we'll be able to keep Maybe behind him just for the moment. Maybe does have a draft, does have a run as they come now into that big sweeping downhill corner. Maybe closes under braking, but not enough to make a move. Meanwhile, farther back, Furkia is keeping No Thumbs behind. No Thumbs not really in position to make a move. Oh, Furkia missed the apex though. That will drag No Thumbs a little closer. Real change there. Looks like Furkia has the Audi still behind, but the Audi not close enough to make a move this time. Same with Salty and Maybe. A little less than 15 minutes left in this stint. Now they dive into the first corner. No Thumbs dealing with a little bit of pressure from Scalarity behind. Benito is not close enough to really do anything to this fight. He lost a lot of time when he went off earlier. Thumbs is right there behind Furkia. Furkia sideways, a little wide, but still holds station. Feels like this fight is the one between a rock and a hard place. Neither of these can really upend the other. It's just going to come down to if either of them make a big mistake. Same thing with this fight here. Salty and Maybe. Maybe got alongside Salty at one point earlier. And he's in the draft. But maybe go for a dive to the inside in turn 1 this time. Staying up for it, looking to the inside. The Lexus cuts down, denies Maybe the run. It's really wide in turn 1 in the process, but Maybe does not seem to be able to make the move. Maybe is still a little bit smoother through 2 and 3, but the Lexus is still ahead. This fight, 9th, 10th, 11th. So a fight for 7th and a fight for 9th, 10th, 11th. It looks like every spot in the top 6 have pretty much settled down. Although I will give Vlak credit, although he is held up by Metal Bomb for right now. Vlak has not let Nico pull completely away, but I think self-inflicted errors will be too much for Vlak to get back to Nico before this is over. Mind you, Vlak also pitted earlier than Nico, so he's going to be on worse tires to the end of this. Scalarity all sorts of sideways, somehow keeps that Porsche together, actually closes a bit on the 2 drivers ahead, despite being completely out of control. Don't know how in the world you do that. top 6 really had kind of settled down. Their race was decided pretty early on, basically by the end of the first pit stop cycle. But this fight for 7th and the fight for 9th has been really, really active pretty much all day. Big sideways moment there by the Bentley. Porsche pulls out of line just to not hit the Audi in the back. Bentley really went heroic there in the valley, trying to open up the gap on No Thumbs. Now we see the Porsche look to the inside, he'll back out of it. No Thumbs thought of a lunge, but did not commit to it, and Scalarity will end up losing time to both of them. But not a lot, these three are all still right on top of each other. Move come now? No. No Thumbs didn't have a great run through there that time, and lets Scalarity close in a bit. Farther up, this is the fight for 7th and 8th. Maybe once again in Salty's draft, not as close as he has been before, so I don't think he'll make a move this time through. The big thing that maybe should have in favor, his tires will be better. 30% tire life, and also that car has had some of the best overall tire wear. Salty, who is in 7th right now, pitted earlier. Their tire life isn't... Oh, no, I'm wrong. I guess either Salty's a master at saving tires, or I was wrong about Salty pitting earlier. I thought for sure Salty pitted earlier. I guess I was wrong. I apologize in that case. We look farther back, this is the fight between Kia, No Thumbs, and Scalarity as we look at their tire life here in these final 8.5 minutes. 22% for Kia. For No Thumbs, 24%, so only about a lap difference. Not really enough to have something big right now. And Scalarity runs right behind them. 34%, much worse tires, but credit where credit's due, he is keeping up. No Thumbs looks to the outside of Kia and runs almost off the circuit, and this lets Scalarity by. Self-inflicted error by No Thumbs, and Scalarity goes back to the top 10. But neither of these drivers have had what it's taken to get by Kia for this 9th spot. See that Porsche shattering over the curbs, not happy at all, and he goes deep into the dirt. Keeps the car straight, actually closes on Kia in the process. That was honestly a really good run out of the final quarter by Scalarity. But the Bentley of Kia has a good initial acceleration. The Porsche is there, the Porsche is closing. Will the Porsche make a move? Or will it be No Thumbs behind? Here comes the move by Scalarity. Big dive, and Kia backs out, will try to cross over the Porsche. Side by side, the Porsche has it! As Scalarity has got it, now the Bentley comes to the inside in 3. Will Scalarity be able to cross over? Kia sideways! Scalarity trying to cross over. Oh my god, they're almost 3 wide! No Thumbs thinks better of it. Kia holds station. Despite having much more time, he's going for it again! He made the same move about 5 laps before, does it again! Knocks himself and Kia all sorts of sideways, falls in line behind again. That move just doesn't work. It's so tempting. It looks like it will work, but that corner tightens up so much faster than you think. So it just doesn't really work. Now Scalarity has to deal with No Thumbs trying to get to his inside. He'll muscle his way to the inside. No Thumbs lunges forward, misses the apex. Scalarity will cross over on corner exit. Can't complete the overtake though, so now it's a drag race between these two for the 10th and 11th position. Scalarity inside, No Thumbs outside. They're both able to hold it side by side. No Thumbs in theory should have the advantage, being on a tighter inside line. Scalarity doesn't back out yet. In fact, he actually has the run out. He'll keep the position over No Thumbs. Into the dirt. No Thumbs is sideways, but both of them avoid the dirt on the outside. And all the while, Kia holds on to 9th as the minutes tick away. Maybe Racing is just there behind Salty, but it does not look like they have what it takes to make the move. They can keep him touched with the Lexus, but the Lexus is too much of a rocket ship in a straight line for Maybe, who is in a car and a setup that is maximum focused on corners to actually make any moves for overtaking. It feels like it's the same case for Scalarity No Thumbs versus Furkia. Furkia is not in a very fast car, but the car is so much better in a straight line that unless something crazy happens to Furkia's part, there's just no way to beat him. He will outrun you to almost every corner. Credit where credit is due. Scolarity's tires are burned up more than the two drivers he is fighting, but he is legitimately fighting. Oh, and Benito has dropped out with 5 minutes left in the event. Benito drops out. Frustration for the Mercedes driver. Once again. All right, and coming in the party is ZR Benito. Benito, go ahead and include your audio. Rough stint, and it's gonna end early. What happened out there?
Truly, I don't know. I just saw like a big crash, then my screen go dark. I disconnected from server.
I'm sorry that happened. Oh my goodness. I am sorry that happened, mate. Who is running your car in Stint 6, the final stint?
It's CLN Amarillas.
Alright, we'll keep an eye on them. Hopefully they're able to dig something out here at the end of this 9 hours of Kylami. Sad to see you out this early, mate.
Yeah, I know. It happens.
Alright. Just about 3.5 minutes left in the stint, so you can finish this lap and maybe get about half of another lap in here, a little more than half of another lap in here right now. Scalarity right behind Furkia, trying to make something happen. No Thumbs is also kind of throwing everything at the wall, just trying to see what he can make stick. The Porsche is not going to make the dive. I think he's finally learned after 2 times that dive is not going to work on Furkia. Because while it will get Furkia sideways, it will get you just sideways and will stall out both of your momentums. If Scalarity wants to make the move on Furkia, he's going to have to make and figure something else out. Run uphill to the hairpin at the top of the hill once again. Porsche just slightly taps the rear bumper of Furkia. Furkia is a little wide on corner exit, but Scalarity is not able to put the car in position to make the move. They all stay nose to tail or 9th, 10th, and 11th. Furkia holding station. Scalarity tries to cut the corner a bit, but high sides the right side. Tires on the curb. Now through that annoying-ass kink. They'll likely only hit that kink one more time in this run. Thumbs throws it up the inside of Scalarity again, but it just seems to be hurting him more than anything else. However, that will keep Scalarity from getting a run on Furkia by the looks of it. And now the Audi of No Thumbs has a run! Side by side for 10th. Now the Audi ducks back in behind the Porsche, now ducks back out. Will it lunge? Will he lunge? He lunges! And it's Furkia who defends! No Thumbs gets by Scalarity. Furkia is still good. Scalarity is going to now cross over into 3. Contact just a little bit, but No Thumbs holds on to 10. Scalarity slips down to 11. No Thumbs has this lap and basically only this lap to try and make something happen to Furkia. Scalarity seems to be losing the plot just a little bit. Farther up in the fight for 7th and 8th, Maybe is still there behind Salty, but they cannot do anything, it seems to him. Maybe it seems to be stuck behind the Lexus. The Lexus is just too good in a straight line. Unless the Lexus makes a big mistake, throws the car off the circuit in one of these corners, I think it's basically over. Maybe can't get this 7th place position. No Thumbs is in 10th, right behind Furkia. Furkia made that Herculean monster move on the outside. We've seen No Thumbs make a similar move on Scalarity. But it does seem like when it comes to driver versus driver, Furkia is better. But when it comes to lap times, No Thumbs and Scalarity are both better. But here at the final moments of this race, it's going to come down to driver versus driver. Unless No Thumbs can think of something absolutely crazy, I think Furkia has this position. Less than a minute left. Anything can happen, though. Scalarity is the one who drops tires into the dirt. No Thumbs can't lunge into the corner this time. Scalarity actually closes in on No Thumbs this time by. 40 seconds left, roughly. My timer says 30 seconds left now. No thumbs there. Oh, and there's the move farther up. Maybe, and racing is there. He's got Salty. He got him in turn 1. It was a huge Herculean dive, but maybe got Salty. Maybe got Salty. Not like that. All right, into turn 4 with 12 seconds left. Salty is right behind Maybe, but these corners will favor Maybe. Will Salty lunge into the corner? No, not quite. 3 seconds left. 2 seconds. 1 second. Time's up. And in the end, Kia holds station over No Thumbs, but Maybe got Salty in the final few corners. And that is it. And your stint winner is LMP TVR. He came home second in Stint 1, and then dominates Stint 1, Stint 4, and then dominates Stint 5. So a great comeback drive. 2 stints in a row for TVR. And Darkin, who couldn't even get home top 5 in the last stint, will come home second in this stint. This will significantly help the LMP team in their starting position for the final stint. They might be overall top when it comes to all the teams running Stint 3, and this person here, we didn't talk a lot about him in the final half, but X3 Art Nico, this has been a midfield car most of these stints. Now Nico has dragged this car into a podium position. Outright outstanding. And I got some bad news for X Valak. We know that in the last stint, the driver who drove this car in Stint 4 ended up taking home third. Apparently, it looks like, as far as I understand, there's going to be a distance reduction for that team, so likely that podium is partially revoked because that driver was doing weird stuff after the stint ended. I don't think I caught it on stream, but that's going to really hurt. But Vlak does bring it home to a 4th place. And Kirby, in the first stint we saw them in, they had a big accident. Lost a whole bunch of time, but did recover to about 11th or 12th. Now he finally has a stint where there are no accidents, and Kirby brings it home with a top 5 finish. Credit also to NWR Origin here in the Acura. Will bring it home to a 6th place finish. Maybe getting by Salty and stealing 7th in the closing minute of the race. A bull bonsai dive in turn 1, and the Lexus could not fight back. Great job on Maybe's part. Salty in the Lexus. While it's still a lead lap finish, it's not as good as what the Lexus has put together in the last 3 stints. That will hurt their overall run. AWR for Kia. While we've seen this Bentley having better runs, for Kia, who just hasn't really been the fastest driver, maybe the weakest driver on the team, he put on a dominant performance. Not really dominant, but absolutely outstanding performance. He may not have had the lap times, but when it came to driver versus driver battle, I feel very confident to have all the cars and all the drivers in this stint. For Kia was the best in driver versus driver battles all day today. For Kia with that monster overtake that took multiple corners on an outside line, made it stick, and then ran the most ultimate defense I think I've ever seen for nearly half the race afterwards. Incredible job by for Kia. And in 10th will be No Thumbs. A really good run. I think No Thumbs could have had a run to possibly get 7th or 8th, but just could not get by for Kia in the end. Kirby seems to have had a dropout. In fact, a lot of drivers now seem to be dropping out here. Excuse me. I do imagine some of these people will be trying to get into the next stint here. I will send invites out real quickly to our 2nd and 3rd place finishers. Don't know about LMP TVR. Okay, and it looks like I've just gotten an invite as well for the final stint as well. So I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of that real quickly. But hopefully we can get some interviews from at least 1 or 2 of our top 3 finishers there in stint 5. Absolutely incredible run there. And we just have 1 stint left. Somehow my voice is still holding in there, although I can definitely feel it getting sore. My throat is going to absolutely hate me. All right, coming to the party real quickly is X3 Art Nico. Just waiting for this to work. All right, Nico, can you hear me? All right, Nico, go ahead, include your audio. You should have the ability to include your audio. Let me double check and make sure you should be able to. Yeah, you should be able to include your audio. Top 3 finish in a car that's been midfield all day long. What do you have to say about that great performance there in the stint? All right. Well, great job on the podium result, mate. I look forward to seeing what your team can do in the final stint. I hope you can walk out here with a smile, because that was a great drive from you, mate. Congratulations on that. All right, we'll see you here in Stint 6 then. Thanks for jumping into the party. All right, I don't know if we're going to be able to get anything from our Stint 5 winner. I'm going to send a invite at them just in case. But I don't know if it's going to happen or not. Now our second place finisher was Darkin. I don't think Darkin is going to be in the BMW for this final set. No, it's going to be Bilbo who goes back in. So Bilbo, who has won a stint earlier, is going to be back in the car. So I will send an invite to Darkin as well. If I can find Darkin, there's Darkin. Okay. I'm not going to wait too long. If we get a full lobby here for this final lobby, and I still don't have any word from our first or second place finishers from the 5th stint, I will end this and then immediately jump in to the next stint here as we are getting ready for the final stint of the day for the C lobby. All right, haven't gotten anything from our winners from the prior stint. I'm going to be really interested to see what the in-distance results are going to be looking like after this here. I also want to go ahead and give a shout out to Darkstar. Thanks for getting me an invite into the final stint here. Waiting for the last drivers. If I see 20 drivers showing up, we're only one driver short right now. If I see 20 drivers showing up, I am going to close this stream and get our next one underway here. All right. I don't think it's going to happen. It looks like we may not be getting TNR obvious in this final stint here. So we may be down to just 18 cars in the last stint of the day. But still, 5 stints in a row with all 19 starters running is pretty good. I am going to close off the broadcast here. Thank you very much for joining us. I've been your host, InsaneLeader13. Look forward to seeing you all in just 1 minute as I close this stream down and immediately open up the stream for the final stint. Until then, farewell and goodbye.